Hey everyone, I'm Timmy Scott, and if you're new here, welcome. As you can tell by the title of this video, as I've mentioned before, I've been wanting to make kind of like a positive thought podcast type thing, where if you're someone who finds benefit out of hearing my positive insight and outlook on life and just positive stuff in general, then this video is for you. I'm just doing it because I've had this directional thought, as I mentioned before. I've had this directional thought for about 3 years, where I wanted to make, again, like I said, a positive thought podcast, like whatever positive comes to mind, what I should talk about, just about life and just the meaning of it and stuff like that, and just putting it out there in the universe and the world, and again, to anyone who might find benefit out of what I'm talking about, and just positive stuff in general. That's all I got, really. Again, a few years ago, I had come up with that idea, but I didn't know where or how to start that. I wanted to do it when I knew I was in a better mindset. And at the time, given that violent area I was living in, I couldn't really do it. Not that I was violent or anything, obviously, to my friends that stuck around with me. Not that I was violent, but it's the constant negativity around me that was affecting me. Constantly, day in and day out, I was living in a negative environment. Going to bed, waking up, constantly being around it. I learned this. I learned this recently. And it makes a lot of sense. If you put out negativity, negativity will come back to you. I don't necessarily mean I put it out. I didn't want to put it out, but again, constantly surrounded by it. And I felt like there was no choice for me when I thought I was stuck in that. I thought I was stuck in that area forever. I thought I would never get out, as I mentioned before. Now that I'm in a better mindset, better area, more positive people, more accepting people, people that put out respect. What I've learned about being in this area that I live in, a lot of more respectable people than not compared to where I was at one point. Meaning, they're friendly, they like to say hi, regardless if you're a random stranger. This is just how the environment is. It's not fake. People don't put on a fake smile. Now, I'm not necessarily trying to say this in a negative way. I'm just expressing my feelings that my family isn't what they say they are. To people who don't know my family, that may be new to the video, long story short, my family is not who they say they are. They're really negative, and they just only put on a front to impress people around them. If you're a good person, you should be good to your own family, not because you have to, because you want to, because you love them for who they are, not what they are or whatever. I mean, you can still love them for what they are, but in a more positive way, not in such a negative way and all that stuff. Anyway, like I said, you can't live a positive life with a negative mind. It just doesn't work that way. If you're always negative, which again, the area I lived in was always negative, it was just a fake area. Anyway, if you're always negative, negativity is going to come back at you. And I learned that. And I guess at one point, when I had moved away from Chicago, trust me, I was happy and loving it where I am. But at the same time, I didn't I guess, accept to come to terms how it was when I lived out there and stuff like that. Yeah, I was I was in a violent area where I was. Like, not so much the area where I lived, but just in general as a whole. It was negative and stuff like that. So, as I got away, I didn't want to accept and face facts yet, quite yet. It took me a long time to finally come to terms that I want to put it at peace and be able to just, again, move on from it. I wanted to be able to move on from where I was, how I was treated and stuff like that. No one should have to be treated poorly just because of who they are and what they are. I'm a good person. I live by my morals. I live by my standards and beliefs and all that. I don't spread hate and hypocrisy and stuff like that. I try to love anyone and all that stuff that not too many people show. Like the recent synagogue shooting. That's a lot of hate. Now, I'm not going to get into it all or anything like that, but Jehovah's Witnesses have hate, but that's their own whatever system. That's just how they're brainwashed to believe that. Anyway. People, I wish there was a lot more people, more often than not, to just live by being a good person to their own family, to their own friends, to their own neighbors, and as long as the person they're caring for isn't hurting someone or whatever, like, back, if that makes sense? Yeah. It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter what the person is, or how they are, or how they act. Maybe they have other reasons why they are the way they are. And, depending how you look at it kind of way, I guess. But that's just me. I've always tried to want to put other people first instead of myself, because I've seen it growing up. No one puts themselves first. Not even my own family put other people first. The nicest people always wind up getting hurt. But again, that's the unfortunate part of the backstabbing. But whatever. Not necessarily trying to talk about it, but I'm just leaving that out there. I don't know. I'm still working out the kinks, how to spread more positivity into the world and into the universe, and bring more love to people that want it and feel like they need it and stuff like that, instead of people putting on fake smiles and all that. I just wanted to leave something positive, a positive print in the world. But at the same time, you can be a good person without having to think you have to live up to these big expectations. You can still not really accomplish a whole lot and still be a good person on top of it. That's what I thought to myself in my own head anyway. Being a positive person and putting out positive energy to the universe and to the world and all that. That's what it should be about, is just putting out positive energy because you want to. Because it's your choice. Putting out positive energy to your own family and friends and your loved ones and all that. Not to put up a front just to impress people. But unfortunately, like I said, I see a lot of that, unfortunately. And it's not going to, at least in my lifetime, I don't think it's ever going to be that way, where people are going to love each other for who they are. And I guess if you look at it in a good way of what they are, if they can't, as long as they're not hurting themselves or whatever. Anyway, I just wanted to try to leave a positive imprint. You can lead a positive life with a positive mind because you want to, not because you have to, because of what other people expect from you or whatever. If you want to put out positive energy to come back to you, put it out there in the universe. Don't do it because you have to or try to impress somebody. That's how it should be, I guess. This is all I wanted to talk about in this video anyway. That's all I wanted to, address for this one. This type of podcast type of way. That's all I have to say, so if this helps you, again, remember this advice. If you put out negativity, negativity will come back to you. Whether you realize it or not, you should love someone, including if it's your own family. You should love someone because they want to, not because you have to, not because of other people around you or whatever. That's negativity. That's other people putting out negativity. Anyway, you should love someone because you want to. Putting out positive energy to anyone for who they are or what they are. Accept them for who they are. And as long as, again, they're not hurting anyone or themselves, which in my case I'm not, but whatever. That's just my input. If you want to, lead a positive life with a positive mind, and all that good stuff. Anyway, I guess you could say that's what I wanted to rant about in my positive thought podcast type thing. Not necessarily a podcast, but whatever. If I think of something more, it'll be in the next video. I guess this is part 1 of my positive thoughts for kind of like a mini series of stuff. If you enjoyed it, if you found any benefit out of it, which I'm sure I have friends that will leave positive comments, leave a positive comment what you thought, what you got benefit out of this video. I want to ask you this question, and I want to hear them in the comments. Seriously. Leave them in the comments. Let me know your intake. If you've watched to the end of this, leave a comment. Do you try to live a positive life? As an example, you try to love people regardless or whatever, or stuff. Try to put it the best way possible. Do you try to lead a positive life and a positive example for people because you want to, not because you have to? Think about that. Again, I want to hear them in the comments. Seriously, don't be afraid to leave them in the comments. I'm a no hesitate kind of guy. So, again, I'd love to hear from you. Maybe you'll even get a shout out, depending on how positive the comment is, I guess. I don't know. Just throwing stuff out there. If I missed anything else, as I mentioned, it will be linked in the description, or no. It will be typed in the description. Yeah. And with that, like I said, be on the lookout for Positive Thoughts podcast number 2. Just wanted to come up with something good anyway, I guess. Like I said, with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.